Hey everybody, Mike Warren with the Academy of Martial Studies for another semi-live class out here at our Fort Meade Combatives Facility area. Today is going to be a grappling day, so purple belt it is in honor of my Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and Russian Sambo lineage. So we're going to go over some of the basics and stuff today. Matt and I are going to do a little bit of light rolling. Won't be as heavy on the instruction side piece, as we're just going to get Matt here loosened up and back into the swing of things so he can get ready for his stripe and belt testing coming up soon. So we're going to go through a couple of warm-ups. Those of you watching this video, once we finally get it uploaded a little bit later on tonight or tomorrow, can follow along on the exercises. We'll call out a couple things, kind of describe a little bit what we're doing, but for the most part it'll just be monkey see, monkey do. So let's get this puppy set down here. I'm going to have Matt's high-speed stands so we can get it down here in our domain. That being the mats. All right, so we'll start with some basics, roll back toe touch. So to start with, facing and then on the side, and we'll both get into this and do it, we're going to basically be rolling back, and as the roll back toe touch says, roll back and touch your toes. So with this in mind, when you get into this, the first couple of times we're going to roll back and bounce forward. And then the last time we're going to kind of hold there. And what we're doing is we're trying to breathe, and we're focusing our breathing in towards our lower back and kidneys region, and just trying to get the area to open up a little bit. Once we do that, we're going to do something called the Hindu push-up, which is going to be like a dive bomber push-up, but it's going to go down and back to work out our range of motion throughout our shoulders. And we're going to do something called a basic sumo squat, which is going to stretch out our groin area and help to open it up a little bit. Now, the techniques we're hoping to cover tonight are going to be the understanding of the top mount and guard, closed guard and open guard. And we're going to look at basic positions for control off of that. Then we're going to just do a little bit of free rolling. Tonight's class is going to be a little bit shorter, not much than usual, just because Matt's got to roll out and stuff. And hopefully our friends from 5-Star Nutrition can make it out. It's going to depend upon their workload is closing up, because they don't actually close until about 30 minutes into our class session. But with that set aside, let's go ahead and get rolling. So to start, squat down, roll back, toe touch. And roll back forward from the side. And again from the front. One more time. And the idea with these is just to breathe and let the body relax and open up your limbs a little bit. The next one's going to develop powerful upper body strength. That's Hindu push-up. I'm going to go from side profile. There's two different yoga postures that are obviously involved in this. It's the down dog and the cobra rising. So start with hands and feet. We're going to form an A-frame. A-frame across the body. And I'm going to act like there's a bar, imaginary, about here, that I'm going to try to go under. Get a good look out what's going, around, and then come back. And just nice and smooth. I'm not going for high reps today. Just nice and open. Now I'm going to go in this up position and try to flatten my heels to the ground and push my weight back to try to stretch out the hamstrings and calves. And one more. This is stretching out the abdominal region, the hips, lower lumbar, hamstrings, getting a good rotation of the shoulders, and developing upper body strength. Next one is the modified sumo squat. So my feet are going to turn out nice and wide. I'm just going to squat down and try to touch my butt to the floor. My elbows are going to kind of push my knees outward to keep the legs wide and just kind of open this area up. rocking left and right helps loosen the hips. So my feet are going to go out into splits. I'm only going to hold this for a few seconds, and I'm not going to go all the way down yet, because I'm slowly loosening it up. So my hands are going to carry some of that weight. Toes up, and walk back just a little bit. Push the weight back into your hands, and bring your feet back together, back into the low squat. We're going to go a little bit lower this time, a little bit wider. Weight goes into the hands, onto your heels. And back. Last time, get a good deep stretch out of this. If you do this 2 to 3 times a day, after about 3 or 4 weeks, you should be able to get to a full split without much difficulty. The idea is the squat actually helps to relax your hip flexors, helps to relax your groin muscles, and everything along the midsection here, along the pubic bone, so that you can get closer to the split. If we think about it dynamically, that's 90 degrees. That's 90 degrees. Together, you have the 180, which is your full split. So learning to relax this particular general groin region is it allows you to get to a full horizontal split. And we're just going to sit back. Deep breath. And slowly rock from side to side, trying to keep our knees locked, toes up. Inhaling on the way up, exhaling on the way down. Now we're going to start turning our upper body towards the particular leg that we're going to be going down, and trying to reach across the opposite hand. So in this case, as you're looking at the screen, that's your left, it's my left, and my right hand is going to reach towards it. And again, while I'm here, I'm just taking deep breaths. Just relax. And switching sides. And switching sides. The idea here is to try to get your torso closer to your thigh in order to get the stretch. Now to come out of the stretch, I'm going to bend the knees a little bit and kind of walk them together. A little walk, a little bounce. Just keep them nice and loose. So they're together, toes still up. And then again, we're going to try to bring our chest towards our legs. Turning towards you, I'm going to bring my right knee parallel to the floor and perpendicular to my body. My left leg's going to go behind me. Toes are going to flatten out. Shoulders are going to stay rounded. Go down to your forearms. And then reach on out and try to touch the forehead to the mat. Walk yourself back to the starting position, and your rear leg is going to come knee to your front leg. This foot back here is going to swipe across so that I can sit back, keeping the right leg over top of my left thigh. I'd hug this into. We're going to let this relax, bring that right leg around and behind. Make sure the left leg is perpendicular to our body and parallel with the floor. Shoulders nice and rounded. Side view. And down to the forearms. And try to touch the forehead. And walk your hands back up. I want to bring that right leg behind our left knee. Swing that foot across the body. Sit on back with our left leg over top of our right thigh. And just give it a big old hug. All right, let that relax. Now, all we're going to do right now is stand in base, and we're going to go into air squats. Back's going to stay straight. Bring yourselves down until our thighs are parallel to the ground, and back up. So when I go down, you're going to see my heels come up a little bit. And that's just to take some of the strain off the front of the knees. Feet are about shoulder width. Chin stays up to help reinforce the idea of keeping the back straight. And up. Don't worry about any weird popping in here, that's just Matt over there. Relax. Now, as we progress, again, because this is class number 2, we're slowly building ourselves back into regular routines. These routines will become much more physically demanding, cardiovascular-wise, strength-wise, flexibility-wise, and they will cause a pretty good sweat. But again, we had some folks who are coming back from major injuries, so we're just building them up from scratch. So what we're going to get into right now are some of the basics of the ground positions. To start with, there's the top mount, guard, side mount, and rear mount. Those 4 key positions have a couple things in common, and that's how we're going to control our opponent. There's advantages and disadvantages to any, just like if you're playing a basic chess game, you have certain movements you can move from one position versus another. But some of the key things they always have in contact, are common core with each other, are the control of the torso. That's going to be done with the largest muscle group in our body, that being our thighs. So what's going to happen is Matt's going to come over here, and we're going to demonstrate the advantages of the top mount versus just punching each other. So I'm going to back up to about here. So Matt and I are going to extend fists towards each other's chins. Looks pretty simple. You can see he's touching me, I'm touching him, even if we stretch it, right? Still get good contact. Now when Matt lays down on his back, I'm going to take the top mount. Because my legs are going to control his torso, when I take this position and extend the fist, he extends his, I got him, and switch hands the other side. He doesn't have me. So this gives me not only advantage when I'm grounding and pounding, but it also gives me control of his torso. If he tries to set up, I've got my legs. He tries to roll over left side or right side, I'm using my legs and no real strength. So Matt's going to take top mounts on me with our head cephalic, basically facing towards the camera. All right. So to get the key points of control here, his thighs are going to want to walk up my torso as much as he can, and he's just going to sit down and relax. So now he's exerting very little, if any, muscle strength. My elbows are out so he can walk all the way up if he wants to. Go ahead. Keep going. All the way up. I know, so much hard work. Keep going. So what he's starting to do is, you see my arms are getting pushed up. Keep going. So if he gets me to the point here, I don't have a whole lot of leverage or points that I can use with my arms. However, as you can see with his fist, he can drop punches all day. And he's set up so if I try to defend myself or sit up, he's got a lot of advantage. I can flail, I can try to push him, but if he keeps a low center of gravity towards my torso with his pelvis, I'm not going anywhere unless we do a couple of our escapes that we'll learn soon. So to start with, he has a superior position, not just because he's on top, but because he controls my torso with his thighs. Okay, large muscle groups, body weight, he's got a lot going for him. So if we look at something, if I bring him down, right, palm up, good, and I make a roll, let's get you back on camera here, he still has a superior position, that being his thighs are controlling my torso. If I go to strangle him, he doesn't even need to use his hands, right? Just relax. All right, so if I got him here, he pulls his knees up tight, he can stretch me out with his legs. So he raises his pelvis up, he pushes me back with his legs, I can barely reach him now. I mean, I can flick his nose and stuff, and I'm not able to throttle choke him. So he has a lot of control here. There's ways that we deal with punches from different ranges within this closed guard. If we turn sideways, you'll see his feet are crossed, so I can't just stand up. I'm not going anywhere. He's got me. So he has a superior position, which I have to learn to get out of, or as you call in jiu-jitsu, pass the guard. So I have my hands out here on the mats. I'm giving him lots of things he can attack. He has Kimura locks. He has ways to wrap up and bust open my arms, and lots of things. So the basic posture, if you find yourself inside of someone's guard, is to sit back, place your hands on their belt, grab the short lines if you can, and bring your elbows in. So now from this position, if he tries to sit up, my hands are already placed. If he tries to grab my arms, I've got a lot to work with. So this is the neutral position. I'm seated back. If I'm down close, my hands are on the mat. He's got me all the time. By mat, I mean the surface here, not that mat. I know they can get mixed up. So if I find myself here, I'm gonna bring my head close so that he can't just start striking or choking me. I'm gonna bring my arms inside. I'm gonna walk myself back and sit. This is a good relaxed posture. I'm not expending much, if any, energy at all. So we'll swap positions so you can see that again. So as he pushes himself forward, close my feet around his torso. And to get good control from here, I want to still walk my knees up towards his shoulder, just as if I was in the top mount. So now I've got a lot of control. When he goes to throttle choke me, he's got a good grip for him to start squeezing. So I'm going to squeeze my thighs together and straighten my legs out. Now I've got a lot of options from here. I can still move my body, which allows me to control his torso. So feeling that, he's going to walk his hands back to my belt. And if I'm wearing a nice belt like this, he's actually going to grab it and push my hips to the ground. This takes away some of my mobility. Now, so he's not exerting much energy, he's going to do his best just to sit back. So now, see, he's much more stable. So what he's forming with his left and right knee and his feet sitting back is that triangle we talked about in our first class here at Fort Meade. So he's forming a solid base. Now for me to get an attack of opportunity, or to finish him off, or to finish the fight, I have to find a way to break this natural, relaxed, defensive posture. Some of the ways that we're going to look at first is by simply changing the fight to get back to our feet so I can shoot him if I need a gun or whatnot. So to do so, I'm just going to open my hand, plant my feet on his hip, push back, and stand in base. Okay? Real simple. So Matt's going to do that. That's the foul. So head towards the camera. All right, so he's going to pull me into his guard. I'm going to walk back. I feel relaxed. Now, in order for him to do this, okay, he's going to open his feet. He's going to turn onto one side or the other. Now, to do this, he did two things. He brought this top knee onto my stomach, which stops me from moving in, and bent this knee, pushed on my hip. That's what he's going to use to bring his butt towards the camera to start getting to a position what we call shrimping his emotion to get to standing base. Go ahead, Matt. Okay. See that again from the side. He's going to step into my guard. And we'll get into the full finer points of the grappling and stuff that goes into this. But right now we're looking at for ways just to get off the ground because there might be more than 3 or 4 dudes coming after you, okay? So if I'm here, I may slap him in the face, turn onto my side. Now what makes this effective is this knee, right, is stopping him from moving in on me. If he's swinging, I'm pushing. This foot catches the front of his hip. This is what I'm going to use to allow my butt to scoot up. And I'm going to stay onto my side. Here, this knee that was on his belly comes down, I'm protecting my face. This hand pushes up. This ground foot lifts, tucks, and stands. Okay, so we're going to do that a few times. We're just going to keep it free while we're going to back up a little bit. Won't be a lot of talking unless there's some correction points. We're going to do this a half dozen times or so, just back and forth. Do it a simple, oh, I'm on the ground. Okay, I got control. And once he gets control, he's going to get back up to his feet, okay? Let's see my posture. Takes his time. There's no rush to this. This is just free flow. Okay, so now once he's here, okay, he's going to put weight here, and he's going to scoot his butt, just his butt away. Once he gets his leg straight, he's going to straighten that bottom arm. His top foot's going to plant, and he can still push away with his bottom leg. And again, smooth is fast, and that's what'll get you there. So we're in here. Oh, there's an arm. Oh, he's got that. Okay. So push, block, step, stand. Good. Plant, stand. Good. So, just a basic recovery posture. Now, the guard is a position you're going to see a lot in a lot of mixed martial arts and UFC matches and Vale Tudo and stuff, so it's something to be very familiar with. Again, it's a ground position that allows us to put our backs to the mat so no one can sneak up behind us. And it gives us a lot of options for submissions and some pretty sick moves, but it takes a lot of practice to get to, so we're starting with the very basic fundamentals. The other aspect we're going to look at is the side mount, rear mount. Then we're going to deal with the top mount last, okay? So to start with, when Matt lays down cephalic, I'm going to take, in a wrestler term, chest on chest. I want to be dead weight on him and just trap him down, okay? So my idea here is this side is stopping his hips. Go ahead and shrimp away. Belly towards, there you go. He wants to get his butt away from me to create space. So come on back. I'm going to put this elbow over here onto the mat to make that a lot harder for him. Now, to reinforce that, this leg back here is going to come to the near hip. Between these two positions here, I have his hips isolated because his ability to swing his hips left or right and to turn his belly towards me is what's going to give him the most advantageous position for movement. So from here, my chest is going to compress his ability to breathe naturally. And all I'm doing is laying there. I have an elbow, I have a knee. Now this hand, I can go across body and come inside. It really depends on what he's doing. But this is starting to isolate his limbs. So if I have one on his hip, one across his face here. Now, if he tries to sit up, he can't. If he tries to roll towards me, his feet. Tries to kick his feet towards the camera. I've got him. He tries to roll away from me. I got him. If he rolls towards me, I got him. Now there's a lot of stuff we can do to create gaps to get out of this. We're just looking at the basic position. We're going to show another shrimping motion to get away from that. So go ahead and take that chest on chest. Let's get you on the far side. So one of the tips for surviving this when somebody crushes your weight down is to take your hips and just angle them. One way or the other, just slightly. So I just put a little angle on my hips. Now when he goes dead weight on me, there's nothing to it. If I flatten my hips, dead weight, notice just a little bit more strain, dead weight, all the way down. There you go, just dead. I have to condense my abs a little bit, makes my breathing a little harder. As soon as I hop that hip, just a little, say it again, not much. It doesn't have to stay up in the air. It allows me to breathe much more relaxed. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to make sure his knees that are on the far side of the camera, on his body and my body here, are wide. So if I sit up, push, his knees are what's controlling. If I do the rookie thing and try to turn my back towards him, he's got me. If I do the smart thing and try to turn belly towards, he's got me. Now how much energy are you using that?
Not much.
Not much. So we're going to swap positions again. This time, I'm going to have my rear end towards the camera. Sorry, folks. But I want to show you how the legs are forming the bottom of that triangle we talked about again. Go ahead and get back. So, as this knee comes up towards his hip, this knee comes up wide, and my elbows down, I'm crushing. Now, there's a lot of different schools on this. Some say you can do this, try to get the body lower to the ground, but we're just going to go with a nice equal base. And here's one. So when he goes to sit up, this leg counters. When he tries to kick his feet overhead, this leg counters. My body weight then adjusts if he rolls back to me or towards me. Side control, side mount, chest on chest. Okay? Real simple. What we're going to do now is we're going to show a basic escape. Now what I want to do is I want to get a good frame. I want to bring my elbow to my knee and try to get something between his body and my chest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate it at a couple of different angles and then I'll explain what I'm doing. But I'm setting myself up to, again, scoot my butt away and shrimp out from underneath it. So as he's here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buck, just get a little gap, and in the time period that he falls back down on me, I'm going to try to bring this forearm, in between his body and mine. So I'm going to bridge way up. Now I have my elbow inside. With this, I'm going to turn my butt away from him. Just think like you're in prison, fellas. And I'm going to try to get this knee in between he and I. So to do so, I'm going to start scooting my butt away from him and bring my knee to his belly. From this position, this foot that I'm wiggling here is going to just simply push the knee downward and away. And look what we got. We're back in the guard. So he's going to do his guard pressure. He gets his position. So from here, I'm going to open, push, and stand. Okay? Then I'm going to go over and take the side mount on him. Ah! Ah! All right? It's real basics. So from this position, he's going to buck, lift high, catch. So he's got to remember to bring this elbow in. Good. He's got the elbow. This takes away some of my stability. Now, as he turns his butt towards the camera and starts scooting it that way, he's going to bring that knee in. Now, his bottom knee is across where my seat belt would be. All he's going to do is push that right knee of his, in this case, down, and his head should go towards the camera. See that swinging motion? Now, he's parallel to me. So his outside leg's in the wrap, pulls his knee up. Oh no, I'm in his guard. So I get my base. He does his base escape. Boom, plant, and stand. Nice. So he gets even. Ah! Okay, so this side's the side I'm looking for. I'm going to plant both feet, lift, and suck that elbow in. And see how I started to turn my knees towards him? Because now, if I have to, I can push his face or his nose or something nasty, and he can do the same to me. So I want to start getting my belly button towards him. Now this knee is across his body. I can use my inside leg to control him he's in my guard. So now I want to stand. I think we're seeing a pattern, right? Push, pull, good, he's got his elbow in. Boom, there goes the new leg. Now he's gonna use his leg. There we go. Now, the only thing that's making this difficult for Matt, aside from the fact he's moving and it's not a computer board in front of him, is he's holding his breath. Relax and breathe. You see that, folks? He almost has a human facial color again instead of some sort of weird purple. So he's down. He's got his weight, right? I'm keeping my arms in, reaching up towards him if I have to. If I leave anything out here, he's going to break it. All kinds of options. So I'm going to bring this in as kind of a control. Use my body. And he gets his base, he's got good posture. He's got my belt here. So this time, hold on to my belt, okay? So he's got my belt. Go ahead and lift your hands a little bit so you can see. There you go. So he's got a good grip. So now it's very important that my legs make up for his grip strength. So when I turn my hips, this knee that's in his belly, this one right here, it's going to keep that distance. This bottom one's almost going to kick him. I'm going to do it gentle because we're rolling light, but this way. So go ahead and keep that grip on. Now, I'm going to do it slowly, but try to keep that grip, okay? Legs are stronger than fingers. Plant that foot, maybe a little extra kick, and stand. Ah! Good. Good. There it is. Keep breathing. Now, what we're going to do here, he doesn't have a belt, so what do we grab? I'm grabbing his shorts. Do I have your shorts?
Don't take them off.
Yeah, don't take them off, he says, all right? All right, so go ahead. And push with the leg. Yeah. There you go. Plant that foot and stand. So even if I got his shorts, he's still in a better position. So don't worry if it doesn't necessarily break the grip. Where I'm at here, he's got lots of options. He can just swing a knee into my forehead, bang, and stand up. Bang, slam my head into the ground a few times. He's got options, all right? This is what stretches him out, is that push. I can sometimes stomp at his face if I want to, too. You got options. Those of us that are more advanced are already thinking of arm attacks and whatnot and ways to bump hips and take position. But we're just worried about the basics. So even if he keeps that grip, I'm still standing. I've got options. I can choke, cross face, and go and sit on your butt. And we're going to get to the next position, the rear mount. So here, I have his back, just like when we were in camp, right? So I have a most advantaged position here because I'm behind him. I can reach forward, go ahead and reach back the arms. He's kind of difficult. It's going to be hard for him to get around. He can reach up, but he can't really reach around like I can. So to better control this, my legs are going to sit in. I'm not going to cross my feet. They're going to stay open. We'll explain why in a moment. And now I have control of his torso. So from here, he's got to worry about my strikes and my attempts to take his arms and break them, and of course, chokes. And if not with the neck, using his own clothes and stuff, okay? So we're going to turn and face towards the camera. So let's look at why, when I take this position, I bring my feet over, why I don't cross them. So it's like Ghostbusters, crossing the streams, cross the feet is bad. So, looks good. Matt can't really escape from this. All he need to do is on the foot that's on top, is bring his leg over top. That's it. Now when he lets his leg naturally relax, he's gonna break my tibia. That's my shin bone. If I have the right one on top, boom, and he just lets it relax and stretches it, snap. Okay, so my feet are gonna stay open. Those of you that have been at the academy for a while know we got some sick movements to deal with the open positions as well. Don't worry, we'll get to those. So what we're gonna do right now is basically take this back position, get our hooks in, and I'm gonna have what's called a seatbelt grip over him. One arm's gonna go across his shoulders, just like he's driving the car and on the seatbelt. The other's gonna come under, and I'm just gonna lock my palms. So I have a good control position. All right, from here, we're gonna switch spots. We're gonna show you how this roll and this drill is gonna continue. You fix my strings here. Don't worry, they're knotted, so even though the bow comes undone, they won't come off. All right, so Matt, he's got me. He's got the rear mount. This is bad, so I want to keep my chin tucked, and I'm fighting, so he takes the seatbelt grip. All right, one arm under, one arm over. Now, here's the reason for the seatbelt grip, okay? I'm going to moving it to a base, and I'm going to show if I get belly down, because we're struggling, how it stops him from falling off, or for when I sit up. So right now, if I go to get up, I can pick him up. All right, he's still got his legs. Now, if I go to sit back, he's got the top on. If I go to shuck him forward, he's got the bottom on. Don't hold your breath, just breathe. Just breathe. There you go. So this gives him better control when I got that proverbial monkey on my back. All right, so his job is to stop me from escaping. So all I'm going to do is turn to one side or the other and use my friend the ground like a bug scraping tool to scrape him off my back. And I have to get my belly towards his belly. So all I'm gonna do is push. And you see how I'm on top of this leg here? I need to get my butt over it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to kick my leg straight. See, I'm using my leg here. Get move, turn my hip. And that just brought my whole body down. Get my elbow in and bring this knee up. Okay? From here, stand and base. I'm just untying my belt, so in a moment. Do you remember how I did that? That escape.
Roll two, leg over, turn, out.
Yep. Don't worry, Matt hasn't done this in about 3 years, so we'll see how much he remembers, all right? Hey, we're keeping it real. All right, so we're not gonna make him gravity check the seatbelt hold because I don't want to hurt his knees until he gets comfortable with it again. But I'm here. He's like, oh crap, this guy's, apparently held larger men between his thighs before because his feet aren't crossed. I got my seatbelt grip. He's just going to pick a side. He pushes. Now, he needs to get his hip on my leg. Towards, yeah. Scoot it by the way, so you get your knee up. There you go. Basic position, stand and base. Okay. I'm going to take that rear. I'm going to do the other side this time. Boom. Now the key thing here is this leg goes straight so I can get out of that fish hook. If I need to, go ahead and angle it up, I can use this hand, push. And I'm sitting on his leg now, right? From this position, I'm going to use both my legs to twist my butt down and away. Once my butt is flat on the ground, this leg's inside, I need to turn my belly towards him. Scoot back, I got a knee. Good, scoot towards my head, turn, good. Now, for those of you that do the Modern Army Combatives program, you'll notice he's not checking my leg from attempting to take them out. We get to that later. Again, this is just the basics to get back into the fight, standing, get your weapon system messed with, okay? Don't worry, we'll cover it in good time. All right, now, we're going to look at that top mount position. We're going to look at two basic ways to do the escape, but we're only going to focus on one to begin with. Because generally when someone's in top mount, it's ground and pound all day, baby. So we're going to deal with the punching threat first, then go to a throttle choke, or Jason Voorhees' eyes, gouging with the thumbs or whatever technique, a little later. That's the arm trap and roll. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Matt here is going to take the top mount. Now, to better defend myself, my head's going to stay on the ground, so he doesn't just slam it into the ground, bang. And so his thighs don't walk up. I'm gonna pull my elbows into my body. Good. Now, right here, he's got perfect punching posture. It's like I'm asking for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant my feet, grab him around the small of his back, put my ear on his belly. I'm gonna use my legs to slam his face forward. This makes it a lot harder for him to punch me in the face. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach up to his shoulder, and I'm gonna inch up a little bit. Once we're close to a nice slow dance head level, I'm gonna take one hand, I'm gonna bring it inside, up, and over. So I wanna wrap his bicep, okay? So if his palm is in this position here, this is bad for him, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll, and it might break his fingers. So for safety, I'm gonna say, hey, check your palm. You see how it's palm up? Hey, his fingers can go this way, just not backwards. So this arm's gonna come all the way in and keep this elbow in. This foot is gonna come over top of his, because I'm about to try to take him to his right side. If I don't trap that foot and I go to push, all day. Now there's other counters and things we can do. You guys that are experienced already have tracked me on this, but we're starting basic. So we're wrapping, trapping, and this hand is gonna swing all the way over across my body. And instead of going to a north-south, east-west, I'm gonna go about a northeast, or as we like to call, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock, I'm going to the left, 11 o'clock if I'm going to the right. So I plant, I reach, boom, I'm in his guard. Crazy, right? So from here, I'm gonna sit back. He's gonna take that escape, boom. As he goes to escape, if he doesn't get to his feet quick enough, I'm gonna charge him. Come on back. I'm gonna take that side mount. So getting close now to the cameras, you guys can see the intricacies. He's gonna work that side mount escape. Gets that elbow in, bounces, get the knee in, he turns, he can pull me into a guard, all right? So let's say he tries that. Again, this time, he might get up a little quicker. Boom, plants. Okay, I got nothing to grab. All right, so what happens if I hold on tight? Guard. Got his shorts now, got my posture, starts his movement. He plants and stands. I'm dragged. He's just gonna pull me and take my back. Boom. Now, I can try to escape, or I can take the top mount. Just give him the chance to do what? Grab the waist, pull me forward, grab my shoulders and walk north. There you go. Pick a side and bring that arm inside. Trap my arm, check my hands, it's safe. He's gonna trap my foot on the same side. He's gonna reach over and go to 1 o'clock. He's in my guard. Continue. All right, he's got his posture. So whether or not he holds on depends on what happens next. So I go here, I push. I stand and base. I still got him up. Side mount. Works the escape. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and relax, catch your breath. Okay, so gang, went over a couple of the basic movements here to kind of show how they work together. We made a little bit of a free chain roll, not something that's X, Y, Z, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. It's now options. We're learning to see what happens with our opponents. If they hold on, we're not fully free, they may dive for us wherever we find ourselves. We can use one of these basic positions. So with that in mind, we're just gonna do a little free roll. We're not worried about chokes, locks, anything other than just seeing if we can get a better body position. Now I have a bit of an advantage with 18 years of rolling, but I'm gonna keep it simple to give Matt the opportunity to find his way out of some bad positions using just the shrimping motion. We'll get into the shrimping exercise here in a minute, but I wanna get him the idea of why we shrimp before we just start moving up and down some mats in a weird manner, okay? So we'll start down low. Oh, it's nice and relaxed. And again, he's already pulling guard, way to go. We're gonna do this semi-controlled. We're not going for super speed, we're not panicking. We're helping each other get our mobility and basic kinesiology and understanding of the fight down. So I'm in his guard, I'm here, I get my posture, Good. Looks good as escape. I stand. All right. Oh, I slipped. Take some advantage of it. Take stop now, nice. He's already in the upward position here. Just go with it. Fingers safe. Jeez. And relax. So this is a little bit of partner free roll. Not going for submission because we want to get the basics of motion down. Learn to relax. Did you guys hear Matt wheezing a little bit, right, Matt?
Yeah.
What I was doing, controlled, natural breathing, trying to keep myself in a centered, calm state of mind so that I'm not panicked, looking for error. With that in mind, roll with this. Rework the techniques. You saw side mount escape, saw a couple of the rear mount, saw the top mount, and you saw pulling guard and getting back to your feet. There are ways to pass the guard to get out of our opponent's guard, but that comes later. But I did promise you to show you something pretty neat about when those feet are not closed and you can't quite get the person to fall. Maybe sit on that? Don't worry, he'll get me back. Okay. So he gets his position. Now, what I have are my elbows and his shins. So all I'm gonna do is bring my knees up. See how it lifts his feet up? I'm gonna reach his foot over top of his foot, making a monkey grip, thumbless grip, because I'm pulling. And I'm gonna push my elbow like a lever just behind his shin. Really hurts, I can do either side. Okay, real simple, let's swap. A little bit closer so they can see a little better. Here comes the big feet. Now, instead of trying to lift my leg up, he's just going to pull his feet, my foot, and push his elbow down. That's it. Good. Try the other side. All right. Now you see how my ankle's turning? So all you should do is reach a little lower down on my foot. There. Get my ankle brace or wrist brace into it too. Feel that? Now, Matt, loud enough so they can hear you. What'd you feel different when you slipped your grip further down towards my heel on the outside of my foot?
Yeah, a lot more leverage.
Ah, leverage.
You weren't moving your ankle.
And so my ankles are pretty flexible. So when he started to crank on my shin, my ankle naturally says, screw that, boss. I'm going to flex. Now, when he went lower down towards the center of where my ankle connects into my metatarsals, he was able to get away. More leverage.
More leverage.
And it made it a lot more painful for me. So he's using less strength, gets a greater effect, and can actually start to break that shin bone or tibia. Real simple. You just bend your knees, grab, lift, and push that elbow downward. So, if you guys got any questions, hit us up, tappingwon'tsaveyou.com. Mike Warren, you got Matt. Friends from 5 Star Nutrition typically close about a half hour until we get here, so hopefully they'll be here soon. If they get here, we'll film a little bit more. For right now, though, we're just going to work some cool downs and then clean up these mats. Like I promised, it was a shorter class than usual. But hope you guys are doing good. Hopefully we'll get this video uploaded adequately for you guys and messing with some new software. We'll make it a little better. And if you haven't already heard the news, we're going to be doing some distance learning to help get you guys that are coming out for clinics and seminars better prepared, so I don't have to go over some of this basic stuff. You can jump right into the really cool stuff. And our partners, Radon Tactics, that's www.raidon tactics, like the word, .com, have a new program that we're recording and sending our materials for, our PowerPoints, our classroom phases, our short, less than 8-minute clips explaining anything from pistol grip to the basics of CPR, to using a scope, mounting it, to what the guard is, what the top mount is, these simple things, how to strike better, concepts of punching, and all of our different programs and courses from live tissue medical training, advanced combat marksmanship, advanced concealed carry, some of our driving courses, surveillance, counter surveillance, urban combatives, modern army combatives, all that's going to be broken down so that those of you that enroll can get access to these classes and study ahead of time. Send us videos of showing us that you got the key points, so when you come out to the course, you can skip some of the basics and move right into the foundations. So that's coming. We'll be recording those videos over the next couple of weeks and putting those into the program, and then once it's all live and we've tested it out, you get a chance to enroll off of that and check it out. Those of you that are here and local to the Fort Meade area, every Friday and Saturday, as long as it's not something holiday or I'm not deployed, from 1830 to 2000, that's 6:30 p.m. till 8 p.m. We're down here at the basement of Daphne Fitness Center. The classes are free. Can't beat that. I just like helping people and keeping you guys safer. So this is a little bit of the Jiu-Jitsu foundation. Some of those leg locks that we showed you are from Sambo. Again, we just covered the positions being top mount, side mount, or chest on chest, closed guard, rear mount, and we just work the basics of shrimping. So the last thing we're going to close out here as we start a cool down before we clip off the video camera is the basics of the shrimping drill. How to do this without a partner. You already saw that turning my hips out and scooting my butt away from my opponent creates a lot of gap and an ability to escape. So one of our school mottos is close the gap, because if we close the gap, we're finishing the fight. Could be with knowledge, could be with bullets, could be just getting our hips closer to finish off some sort of arm bar or submission or just a neck breaking technique or whatever it may be. Thus, in the counter to that, to escape a bad position, you want to create a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrimp down and back, and then I'm going to shrimp side to side. And that's going to be just off camera, that way we don't run into each other. We're just going to do some simple shrimping. And the key points for the shrimp are one foot's going to act as a base in the ground, and my shoulder is going to act as the second base. So I'm going to have 2 points to allow my body to pendulum in and out. All right? Belly. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in for this 54-minute class. Remember, www.tappingwon'tsaveyou.com. You already have our YouTube channel if you're watching this, or through Facebook. Be sure to ask us in the comments section if you have questions. I am available for seminars pretty much anywhere you want to bring me. Anyway, be safe, everybody. Say bye, Matt.